Today, we got back our PSA submission that we waited for months that could potentially have some very valuable cards in there. Let's get right into this opening. First time to the channel, I'm Cody from Sellegs Pokemon. Before we get started, do me a solid. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. That way you're notified every time I upload new content. Let's get right into this opening. Alright, so before we actually break this box open, so like I said, this is from PSA. We paid the express service for this, so when we paid, it was back in January, I believe, and express was $75 a card. Now, they claimed about a 2 to 3 business week turnaround time after it's entered into the system. Now, that to get it entered into the system, it was typically about 2 weeks. So they actually took quite a bit longer than they've claimed, and that is why they actually don't even guarantee turnaround times even for these more express services anymore. So I mean, look, back in January, we're looking at what, 3-4 months wait, when it should have potentially been maybe a month and a half of wait. So just keep that in mind. I really don't suggest sending anything out right now, actually, to any grading companies. I feel like we're going through a really bad era of sending all these junk slabs that should not be graded. There's nothing wrong with grading something that's not valuable for your personal collection, but we have a lot of inexperienced sellers out there that are just grading everything thinking that it's going to maximize every card's value. And in actuality, it really doesn't, because you have to understand how expensive it is to grade cards, and you got to think about how long it might take to hold on to it before you sell it. You got to think about the shipping costs both ways, just to send it out, to get it back, to send it back out when you sell it. You have to keep all that stuff in mind. So if you're going to be one of those sellers going out there grading every Evolution's reverse holo thinking you got a gold mine on your hands, you have another thing coming. You really do. Now, if you do know for sure that it's a very strong 10 candidate, there are some modern cards that are very valuable in a 10, even some XY Evolutions reverse holos. But in most cases, people just send them out for the sake of sending them out, thinking they're going to maximize the value of every single card, when realistically, most reverse holos from Evolutions in this case might be worth $10, $15, excluding the Charizard. And in that case, if that card comes back at 9 or less, that it might sell for $30, $40, maybe $50, depending on the card. And then think about the cost of grading. Think about the cost of shipping. Was it really worth it? So we have to get into a better habit of sending cards that are worth grading. Like I said, if it is for a personal collection, that is one thing. But personal collections, I don't think is what actually backlogged PSA. I think what backlogged all these grading companies is the fact people saw an opportunity to make money by grading. And they took advantage of that. And they really just did it without taking a moment to actually think it through. And that's what put us in the situation now, where we have all these big YouTubers that talk about how much these things are worth. And it's just, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with having value to your collection. But what it's doing is it's creating this community of people that they just want to send all this stuff out, and they don't actually think it through, like I said. So keep that in mind. Let's get right into this. So I can tell you right now, it is a 2-card submission. One is a vintage card that could be potentially a very heavy hitter. And the other one is a more modern card, but also could be a very heavy hitter as well. Now, PSA does package these very well, as you can see here. Quite frankly, I don't even know how to open one of these. So we're just going to unwrap this like a present. All right. Now, before I sent them in, I was hoping for a 9 and a 10 for the 2 cards. Now, realistically, I try not to get too set on something, because realistically, I have no control over the grade. I've seen some 10s that didn't even look as good as the card I sent in. And then I've seen some that were strong 10s. So, like, it really, I guess it comes down to the grader, really. Sometimes they're lenient, sometimes they're not. So just keep that in mind. But that is what I'm hoping for, best case scenario. I can tell you right now, both cards will not be a 10. So this is the packaging. And you open it up here. Both cards will not be a 10. One card is a vintage card I got from a binder collection. And realistically, I'm honestly guessing it's going to be an 8. But it does look like it is a possible 9. So anywhere from an 8 to a 9, I would be happy with. I really like a 9 because the value of the card goes up more than twofold. So, and then the other card is actually McDonald's Pikachu, which it could be a 9 for sure, but it does look like it's a very strong 9 if it is a 9. So that's why I'm thinking it's a possible 10. So let's just open this up. Hopefully not see the grade here. So, okay, here we go. All right, so our first card. Whew, I'm a little nervous because the one card can potentially be worth $1,600, and that's not the Pikachu. Let's see what that grade is. Oh, okay. So I could see PSA got much harsher with their grading because I was sure this was an 8. The centering looked really good on this card. And there was only one little white spot on the back. Like, this is a really nice card. So, I'm actually super, super shocked about that. Yeah, this was a really nice Lugia too. So, that's crazy. I'm definitely a little bit shocked about that, considering PSA is typically not the harsher of the services. That's something I would expect from maybe a CGC. Quite frankly, I thought maybe this could be a potential CGC 7. So 6, I'm not very happy about. Definitely not worth the 4-month wait. And okay, so the Pikachu was a 9. I figured they wouldn't just throw a 10 on this just because, I mean, it looks good, but they always find something for sure. I guess that's a fair grade for the Pikachu. I feel like the Lugia is a little bit harsh for sure. I felt like it was a strong 8 at least. Like I said, I couldn't imagine it being any less than an 8. So that is the return. Definitely not worth the 4-month wait, and definitely not worth the cost of sending these cards out. But this is what I'm talking about with people sending out all these cards. As you can see, it's an extreme gamble. Sometimes you think you might have a perfect card or a near perfect card, and look at what you get. You come back 2-3 grades lower than you expect, and then this card is probably worth $300 in this condition right now in a PSA 6, maybe $400 tops. And the McDonald's Pikachu is only worth $200 to $300 in a PSA 9, where it's worth about almost $1,000 in a 10. So just keep that all in mind. Realistically, this was not worth it. I could have sold these cards raw and got back all my money because the cost of grading, that was $150 plus shipping, paid almost $200 for that. And then I could have sold the Lugia raw for about $300, and I could have sold the Pikachu raw for about probably $50 to $75. I mean, realistically, that's pretty close to what you would get for selling the two. So, was it worth it waiting for 4 months? No. And this is one of those experiences where you learn from it, because if you're watching this and you are one of those people that send everything out to get graded just to think that you're maximizing your value, we waited 4 months to just break even in this case. Just keep that in mind. Thank you everyone for watching this. I really appreciate your support and your time. As always, everyone, let's make like Charizard and keep this passion burning.